welcome to the CNN Weather Special of the Year. I'm Patricia Kelly, and today we are going to be talking about the 10 deadliest tornadoes to ever be recorded in the United States. To start off at number 10 is the Flint tornado. It killed 115 people and injured 844. Here we are with Miss Henderson, who lived through the whole thing. Welcome.
Glad to be here. This tornado killed half of my family. We all grew up in Flint, Michigan, where the tornado took place, but it will never be my true home again without them.
Was it traumatic being so young when the storm hit?
I will never be the same.
Do you remember the exact date?
June 8th, 1953.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you for having me.
In the number 9 spot, we have the New Richmond tornado. This took place in Richmond, Wisconsin, and killed 117 people and injured 125. Here are some pictures of this horrible tragedy that took place on June 12th, 1899.
A powerful F5 tornado virtually destroyed the village of New Richmond, Wisconsin. The town was home to roughly 2,500 people. However, there was a circus that day, adding hundreds of travelers and tourists. The show concluded at 4:30 p.m. just as heavy rain and hail began to fall. The skies cleared 30 minutes later and people assumed the storm was over. The tornado began as a waterspout on Lake St. Croix around 5:30 p.m. It moved into open farmland, destroying several structures as it moved northeast. The tornado struck New Richmond at 6 p.m. and was illuminated by lightning, but was only visible minutes before it reached the town. Many were in the streets and there was little or no warning to take cover. The twister erased parts of the town, tossing debris and people everywhere. Those who didn't take shelter most likely perished, but even those who hid underground were crushed to death by flying debris from structures being ripped from their foundations. The tornado killed 117, injured 125, and damages totaled over $300,000 at the time.
Taking the 8th position is the Amite Pine Purvis tornado. We have found a small section of a newspaper article from immediately after this took place that explains what happened. Now at number 7 is the tornado that struck Joplin, Missouri on May 22nd, 2011, killing 158 people and injured more than 1,000. The storm packed winds in excess of 200 miles per hour and was on the ground for more than 22 miles. Here we have a video that was taken minutes before the tornado hit the ground that shows just how frightened people were. Halfway through at number 6 is the Woodward tornado, which took place in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas on April 9th, 1947, killing 181 people and injuring 970. The funnel cloud reportedly was more than a mile wide in some places. Here in the studio with us today is Barney Brown, who was only 7 years old at the time that this terrible tornado struck. Welcome, Barney.
Thank you.
So, Barney, can you describe to me exactly what happened when this tornado hit your home in Oklahoma?
Well, Patricia, it started off as just a normal day with me and my siblings doing our chores. My mother suddenly called us inside because she heard there was a terrible storm coming. We all had to go inside to protect ourselves from the storm. When it hit our small house, the roof came right off, but none of us were badly hurt, just minor injuries. We were very lucky that none of us were severely injured.
Wow! I can see that you still remember this day very well, even though it happened so long ago.
Yes, I do, but I'm just very thankful to have made it through alive.
Thank you for stopping by, Barney.
Thank you for having me.
For the 5th deadliest tornado, here's a clip from a news special our team did on it a year ago.
Hi, I'm Sam, and this is Jesse.
We are here today to bring you a short special on one of the deadliest tornadoes of all time, the Gainesville tornado.
The Gainesville tornado was a pair of storms that converged April 6, 1936, in Gainesville, Georgia.
This storm killed 203 people and injured 1,600. The tornado destroyed 4 blocks and 750 houses in the northern Georgia town.
There were 12 different tornadoes that touched the ground within a period of 13 hours.
The cost of the damages from this destructive storm was billions of dollars.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on CNN.
Moving up to number 4 is the Tupelo tornado. Because there are very few survivors left, we are using an interview with a survivor from around 20 years ago at our news station.
Here we are today with Mrs. Goldberg, who survived the Tupelo tornado in 1936. So tell us, Mrs. Goldberg, what was this experience like for you?
Well, I was very young when this all took place, but I do remember that my family had a tornado shelter that we let people from the whole neighborhood use.
Really? So what was it like when you came out of the shelter?
I was very surprised because there's nothing left outside. Everything was torn to pieces and unrecognizable, but luckily we were all safe.
And what was the date this tornado happened on?
April 5th, 1936.
That's all the time we have. Thank you, Mrs. Goldberg.
At number 3 is the St. Louis tornado, which killed 255 people and injured 1,000 on May 27, 1896, in Missouri and Illinois. It had winds of between 207 miles per hour and 260 miles per hour. This was one of the largest tornadoes ever recorded. Here in the studio to answer a few questions about tornadoes is scientist Kennedy.
Hello.
So, can you give us a brief explanation on how tornadoes are formed?
Most tornadoes are formed from thunderstorms. You need warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cool, dry air from Canada. These two air masses meet, they create instability in the atmosphere. A change in wind direction and an increase in the wind speed with increasing heights creates an invisible, horizontal spinning effect in the lower atmosphere. Rising air within the updraft tilts its rotating air with horizontal to vertical. An area of rotation, 2 to 6 miles wide, now extends through much of the storm. Most strong and violent tornadoes from within the area are of strong rotation.
So that means that this tornado must have had perfect weather conditions for a tornado to create a storm so big.
Exactly.
That's all the time we have. Thank you for stopping by, Dr. Kennedy.
Thank you.
Getting towards the bottom at number 2 is the Natchez tornado, which killed 317 people and injured 109 on May 6, 1840, along the Mississippi River in Louisiana and Mississippi. The official death toll may not have included slaves, according to the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Because this tornado occurred so long ago, there is no further information regarding any details is available to us, but we know that it was very destructive. Now finally we come to number 1 most deadly tornado in history of the United States, the Tri-State tornado. This tornado traveled more than 300 miles through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana on March 8, 1925, and was rated an F5, the most powerful under old Fujita scale, winds of 260 plus miles per hour. Here are some pictures from this disaster. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching our CNN special on the deadliest tornadoes. Now before we go, here's a look at our weather forecast for today.
Thank you, Alex. Today looks very windy with dark skies. I can barely stand up. The weather is going to be about average, but it is going to cool down a little by the end of the day. Wind speeds are very fast. These wind speeds are dangerous. Take shelter if possible. I just have gotten notice. A tornado warning. This one might knock out the tri-state tornado. Right off the list!